After spending 3 days here in this part of Asturias, searching for rocky formations in these beautiful beaches, I was already astonished by the beauty of beaches like Playa del Silencio, Playa de Portizuelo or Playa de San Pedro de la Ribera. But I was not expecting what was yet to come. May I present you Playa de Gueirua. So good morning everyone, and welcome to the new video of these days in Asturias, north of Spain. So as you can see, I am in Gueira, and this is a beautiful, beautiful, almost inaccessible beach. I have to get down from the top where I left the car to the bottom by these rocks here, and I believe this is just only used by fishermen. Yeah, because I don't think this is very accessible beach. This is a very accessible beach, it is not. So I have the beach to myself, I think, again. Well, the tide is up, and it looks great. It looks great. The beach is great for photography. So let's go, let's make this path and start our photography business. Well, I've reached the bottom, and I have one beach here with just rocks in there, as you can see. Beautiful. And this part here also with only rocks. Whoa, what a magnificent view. I have there that fantastic composition, and I'm going to start shooting right away. Well, so I did get up early today to take advantage of the sunrise, but it's overcast. The sky is full of clouds. I don't see the sun. It's raining a little bit, but I think it's just moisture from the ocean. But I don't have the light that I wanted to have. So I guess I just have to do everything as I can. Well, first composition is about these rocky formations back there. And I don't need a filter. I have a 2 seconds exposure, f13. And this gives me the exposure that I want and the shutter speed that I want. So yeah, it's a beautiful, beautiful place. I'm going to take also one shot with the telephoto lens just to individualize that rocky formation there. I just want to catch that part of the rocks. Yes, and then we'll see what we get more. Well, I changed to my telephoto lens and I'm using now around 135 millimeters just to take the shot of those 4 rocky formations there. They seem like 4 peaks pointing to the sky. And I really like that composition and take advantage of the light. So the light is not good, it's overcast. It seems like it's opening a little bit in the sky, but it's completely overcast. And well, I have a dramatic light for black and white, for example. So I'm going to take advantage of that and I'm going to make really long exposures just to flatten the sea. So, okay, let's go, let's try to do it. As always, I'm using the KNF concept filters to make these photos. And whoa, whoa, what an amazing wave. Another one. Yeah, and these ones here are not those dramatic shots I've told you, because, yeah, but it's good. Sounds really nice. This one is good. But I'm going to put another filter. So now, as I want a 30-second exposure, I'm going to put the ND64, not the ND1000, because with this light, with the ND1000, I needed to use for example, 1 minute exposure or more. So I don't want that. ND64 should be enough. And let's see, with the circular polarizer too. Yeah, F13, 30 seconds exposure, and let's do it. Well, and of course, I'm sorry for my hair, because I don't have a brush. And whoa, yes, 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 this is what I wanted. Yes, what a photo. Well, we have a little bit of light coming in now, and I was just trying to repeat the shot of the wide-angle lens, but I don't think this shot is a wide-angle lens. I think this shot here is all about that rocky formation, and it's all about telephoto lens to grab all these things. Despite that, you can do also wide-angle photo of this place because it's magnificent, everything here. But the strength of the shot is there. At least it is how I think it. But I'm going to try to catch the beach also. And I think, yeah, it's a great photo also. Well, what do you know? We have light. We have light. So I am having a very dramatic lightning sky. So, well, I'm going to make other compositions trying to catch the sky. Let's see. This is always changing, but for the best, for the best. Let's see if I have some sun. Let me talk a little bit about exposing for long exposures. So it's very, very important for us to understand this. The shutter speed that we choose is going to impact dramatically in the composition. So it's not a right or wrong question. It is never wrong. It's your choice. it's an artistic choice. So, but I'm going to take here some different shots for you to see how the shutter speed impact your image. So we're going to start for a 1 to, let's say 1 to 20 exposure. No need to go further, because further you know that will freeze the image. So 1 to 20 exposure. Now 1 to 10. Now 1 to 4. I'm going to change for 0.5 seconds exposure, and now we are of course entering in very long exposure. So till now, when you drop your shutter speed above 1 to 10 seconds of exposure, you already get some motion in the water, some blur, some motion blur in the water. Beyond that, as long as you go with the shutter speed, the longer the exposure, the longer the motion blur, and eventually at some point you lose the motion blur and you get everything blurred. So now I have to change. I put one ND filter to get more longer shutter speed, because we have the light, of course. I'm going to change for 1 second exposure, and in this kind of exposures, 1 second exposure, 0.5 seconds exposure, 2 seconds exposure, there's a lot of difference, as you can see. 2 seconds exposure now, okay, and now I'm going to change for 4 seconds exposure, okay, again, and last one, 6 seconds exposure. Of course, and as you can see for the photos, the motion, especially in the ocean, will help you to have a different image. It depends on the waves, it depends on the height of the waves, and you have different results. You have to wait, most of the times you have to wait for the right wave to photograph. Okay, so you have 6 second exposure, and the last one, I'm going to make a 30-second exposure for you to see the results. But for that, I need to change my filter from the ND64 to ND1000. So it is important, of course, to use the right filters with good quality. For that, I find the KNF concept filters very, very good, with low price and good quality. Well, 30 seconds exposure, what we'll do is to flatten all the water, so you don't have that motion blur. You have a flattened water, which is very artistic, but it doesn't always work. So you need to be careful with these shots. So yeah, the shutter speed, it matters a lot, especially in long exposure, so you don't have always the same result. I tend to use from 0.5 to 1 second exposure to catch the waves. Sometimes I do want the waves more flattened, more soft. Other times I want to catch the roughness of the sea also. Well, let's continue. I'm going to change my position to the other part of the beach. Carefully, not to fall. And well, this is so beautiful and majestic, quite majestic. So here now I have new forms of composition. So you see, it's a different perspective, different view. And let's go, let's start all over again. Okay, so in this position we have new perspectives, new things to see. So as you can see there, I have this rock here in the foreground, these rocks also in the beach in the foreground, and of course our rocky formation there in the background. But those rocky formations now are different. So this is what is amazing in photography is you change your positions, you change also your perspective. The light is going off again, so I have just this glimpse of sun, of opening, not sun, not direct sun, but an opening in light. And yeah, it's what I have, but it's okay. So I'm getting now maybe two different compositions with the telephoto lens, with a wide angle lens first, I'm sorry. One, 30 seconds exposure, a long exposure, just to flatten the sea. And then I'm going to make here maybe a 0.5 exposure or 1 second exposure to give that motion blur of the ocean that is so pretty. Okay, so yeah, let's try. Yeah, so I'm finishing here unless the conditions change a lot. But this is all too gray. This is all, in terms of color, it's too muddy. It's not color rich because I continue to have strong clouds, and there's nothing I can do about it. So what I have here is a more likely black and white photos than color. But yeah, well, I have everything now photographed, and I hope photos are good. I think they are. And now what I'm going to do is take my morning coffee, because I didn't take it yet, and I brought it with me. Well, time to say goodbye to this wonderful beach. I loved to photograph here. This is an insane landscape view. Beautiful, really beautiful. I did hope that I could go to the beach there, but in order to do so, I have to wait at least another an hour and a half. So I don't think it's worth it. I got the shots that I need, wonderful shots, and now it's time to start climbing this again, right up to the top. Well, I stopped on the way up here in this position to make more two compositions. Look at this. I have made one wide angle composition with all of this area, and now I'm shooting with the telephoto lens, just pointing to these gaps here between the rocks. So 30 seconds exposures to make everything blurred. This is amazing. I have no words to describe this. Amazing. Well, Asturias, rock. At least for photography. Landscape photography. And it totally worth it to stop because, as a matter of fact, I ended up making one of the most beautiful photos that I've made in this trip, and it is a direct entry to my portfolio. I was so happy with this one. Okay, new destination. So I'm going to head up to Playa de las Cuevas del Mar, or Playa Cuevas del Mar. Well, it's about 1 and 25 minutes distance from my position. I will arrive just in the low tide, and it's mandatory to arrive in the low tide for this kind of shooting in this beach, because there's in the low tide that we see those arches that I want to photograph in the rock. Okay, so 1.5 hours of trip starting now. Let's go. So I drove 1 hour and 20 minutes to arrive here. More than 100 kilometers. This is beautiful, but it's crowded again, and I'm having difficulties to vlog and of course to take photos too. I needed some more privacy, but I can't, and I'm trying to make the best composition. Well, in Aldug, it's a beautiful spot. It lacks here some personality. I miss the light and something else here to punch in the photo. Otherwise it will be just another black and white and a gray one. Well, the waves are coming in a little bit, so I did manage to find the perspective. And however, I'm going to try a little bit hard. 0.5 shutter speed, f13, and let's go.
Wow, man. Okay, so what did just happen here? As you could see, I am trying to improve to speak among other people, but it's really hard, at least for me. People, they stop to see the camera, they stop to see the tripod, they stop to look at you. They make you feel like something weird that's going on there. And I just can't speak, at least naturally, in that conditions. So I couldn't vlog again. I just spoke some words and tried to concentrate in doing something well. The photo experience was not good. Again, because a lot of people there, a lot of kids. I didn't want to photograph the kids. As you know, it's very, very complicated. Of course, I was making long exposures. It will blur all the images of people, and I kind of want to get that on the photo because it gives to the photo some soul. I didn't grab the soul of the place here because the light was harsh again. It's completely overcast all the day, and the waves were very, very tiny in that portion of the beach, so I couldn't get a splash. I couldn't get a long exposure blur, motion blur, only in people. So that's kind of the soul of the image, alongside with the rocks, of course. So yeah, I drove a lot to come here to this beach. I was kind of expecting this, but my hope was that with the weather like this, people didn't come to the beach. So I can only imagine if it was a sunny day. So to photograph here, you can only do it maybe at the end of the day, or in the beginning of the day at early hours, 7 o'clock, when no one is in the beach. So yeah, well, this finished the day for today. It's time to go to the camping again. 1 hour trip. Time to arrive, to have some dinner, to charge batteries, and this is the last day. Yeah, so this is my last day here. Tomorrow is I'm going home, and I will try to make some photos in the morning still, and then in the afternoon I go. So yeah, hope you are enjoying these episodes here in Asturias. I had a great morning, not so good afternoon, but though a good photo to compensate. And yeah, it's been great days here. Yep, just please subscribe the channel if you didn't do it yet, and hopefully you can see all the videos behind too. So stay tuned, and I'll see you in my next episode. Bye.